one that I've shared. And
Yes, yes, we can.
so I want to attempt to speak with you all about how we can turn our ideas into a viable and sustainable business. My name, as I have been introduced, I am Samson Genya. I am an entrepreneur myself. I have I have a few businesses, but primarily I am known for Endless Tech, which is a company that I be reaching 7 years this December since we started. And I co-founded this company when I was still a student pursuing my bachelor in software engineering. After that, I've undergone various training for business and entrepreneurship from Regent University, from the Joseph Business School, etc. So I kind of have a little bit of an idea about what I'm talking about, but obviously I am also looking forward to learn more from what you guys have. So I want to split my session into three parts. The first part is the idea itself. The second part is going to be a viable business idea, and then the final part will be a sustainable business. So yeah. And in this first part, I just want to communicate with you about how you can think great business ideas. I know that usually people are just assuming that everybody already has some sort of a business idea, but sometimes even the ideation can be a problem. So I just wanted to, and I would just want to start with explaining a concept that I found in this great book that I'm also going to share with you in a few minutes, called Ideas That Stick. And in that book, it talks about things that are urban legends, those ideas that are just popular in the masses versus things that we might think are important, but they're kind of boring. And it all comes down into the way that the idea has been presented or the idea has been communicated. Some of these ideas are not even real or true, but because of the way that they have been presented, they've become legends in the urban. For instance, here in Tanzania, we have an urban legend about Nyerere's scepter, the fimbo that Mwalimu used to hold. And the legend goes that, if he puts it down, nobody can lift it up. I would have told you guys to show me your hands if you've heard about that idea in the past, and I know that majority of you have. And of course, it's not true. I mean, his scepter, anybody could lift it up, but I think somewhere in the way that people are trying to communicate that is a great leader. We borrowed a little from the Greek mythology, from the story of and so we adapted it into our narrative about the greatness of our leader, or about the idea about Coca-Cola and your bones. I'm sure you've heard of this. Coca-Cola is 90% of our brains. But there's also an idea called meiosis and mitosis, and this is something that maybe you might have heard in your biology class. I don't know, but usually when I ask people, when I present this topic, remember meiosis and mitosis, I find that most of people have already forgotten about these concepts, although they're important concepts. But everybody has heard and remember the top three ideas that are presented. And I am going to attempt to show you what those three top ideas have in common that will help you set your ideas apart from every other idea out there. Yeah. And part of that process is that all those three top ideas are false. So Coca-Cola does not dissolve your bones. You don't use only 10% of your brain. Nyerere's scepter could be lifted by anyone. But meiosis and mitosis is true and real, although because it's an idea that was not communicated with the qualities that these other three were communicated with, we don't remember them. So I just want to tell you this, that good ideas are common. Any idea, any business idea that you have, I want you to know that it is common. Somebody somewhere in the world is already thinking about something that you're thinking now, And if not, maybe in the couple of days, couple of weeks, couple of months, somebody's going to think exactly the same idea that you're thinking. And so Felicia, could you just go back to the video that I had and leave the Samsung that is talking to just talking, and give people the video that you were sharing with them before that. Yeah, so good ideas are common. What is uncommon are people who are disciplined enough to execute them. Yeah, so it doesn't matter how brilliant an idea you have. I have had ideas that I was thinking maybe 10 years back, and I'm seeing them being executed in the world. Just that it's the fact of life that good ideas are common. So don't ever be thinking about somebody stole my business idea. My business idea has already been executed. The only thing that differentiates people out there is the discipline of execution. It's the discipline of execution, right? Okay, and so what are these ideas that stick? Ideas that stick have at least three main functions. Number one, they are easily understood. Number two, they are well remembered. And number three, they have a lasting impact. So this lasting impact could be a change in the audience's opinion and or a change in their behavior. Yeah. So and not every communication that you're going to make in your life is going to need this kind of an idea, or it's going to need this kind of communication. But if you want your business idea to stand out, it must have these three qualities. First, it must be understood, it must be remembered, and it must have a lasting impact. And like I said, the main book for this is a book called Made to Stick by Dan and Chip Heath. So what do successful ideas have in common? They have these six qualities. They share their simplicity, their unexpectedness, how concrete they are, how credible they are, the emotional harnessing that they do, and they are always communicated using a story. So by simplicity, I mean that an idea is not dumbed down, but you've somehow found a way to prioritize your idea, and you're only communicating the core of your message. With an analogy if possible. So this is not about a soundbite, but more of a proverb. So think about all the proverbs that you remember from primary school. They were simple, but they were yet very much profound. And if you want your business idea to be able to stick and to become business, you must find a way to simplify it. And this is what the investors are usually calling an elevator pitch. Can you actually simplify your business to something that is under 30 seconds? Can you actually tell the next person and help them understand what it is that you're trying to communicate in 30 seconds? So we're talking about a one-sentence statement that is very profound, that an individual could spend their lifetime learning how to follow it. So and this is what we're trying to accomplish when we're trying to build Endless Tech. We were telling each other that we wanted to build a solution that really matters. We didn't want just to be the next or any other software company that is just out there building Me Too products. We wanted to build things that actually matter, things that are actually solving problems that in our society. And it is something as simple as that can move people to join your cause, to join your team, etc. So next, your idea must, violate the schema, violate expectation. It must raise people's curiosity and make your audience want to learn about the message. If you're doing a lecture and you're a lecturer, right around the fifth hour you started, in the first lecture, unless you're able to gauge their interest, unless you're able to communicate an idea that is unexpected, something that is kind of, if I may be able to say this, out of the blue. The way that Uber was unexpected. Everybody was used to taxis and everything, and then Uber comes. So that can be a successful business because it's unexpected. Next, your business must be concrete. So yes, you're painting a mental picture, but you want something that is visual, something that can be presented as a visual element, something that can communicate and remember. The Valero theory of memory says that remember 80% things that can touch our emotional senses in the brain versus only 20% of the logical senses in the brain. So if you want your idea to be successful out here, you must be able to invoke the sensory language and talk about how it can impact people's lives, help them solve problems, etc. Your idea must also be credible. So we're talking about credibility from outside. Is there an authority out there that can substantiate what you're trying to communicate? And do you have credibility within? Do you have like statistics to back your story up? Do you have traction when you're communicating, let's say, to a new client or to a prospect or to an investor? Can you actually tell them that this is what we've been able to do so far, and this is what we're trying to achieve so far? And this is why, maybe for instance, in the software industry, we usually give people a try before you buy concept. You're giving people a trial because you want people to know that you are actually credible, you're actually as good as you say you are. So you have a business that you're trying to sell others for free and help them test the samples, help them give you feedback so that they actually know that your business idea is actually credible. Next up is that your business idea has to be emotional. And by emotional, I mean that people care about people, not numbers. That's just the truth. That acronym there, it's what's in it for me, what's in it for you. So as you're communicating your business idea to people, as you're doing your marketing, you must be able to tell people what's in it for them. Exactly is it that they're actually going to be getting as they're doing this thing. So you must find an emotion that you're actually going to harness as you're communicating this business concept. And finally, as you must have seen out there in the world, all great business ideas use stories. Use stories to communicate because stories are effective. You must be able to, you can use simulation about what to do. You can use an inspiration, the motivation to do it. You can help people see how existing problems might change by the use of your solution, by the use of your business. So, for instance, I was meeting a lady that is trying to launch a business making snacks, healthy snacks for people who are diabetic and people who are trying to be on a diet. And so we're trying to figure out the story that she's going to communicate in the market, because just having a great product is not enough. Your business idea must be able to communicate a story. And she found a very nice person who's diabetic, was willing to take part in her trials, and they've used this particular girl's snacks for over a month, and they've reported all the improvements that they are seeing in their health. And she is now using that story to communicate all the blessing that she's actually trying to bring using her business. So if you want your business to be successful, you must be able to communicate all that: your concreteness, your credibility, use of stories, use of emotions, etc., etc. So then how do we turn good ideas now into viable businesses? And now this is something that me and my team are usually using. We call it business kung fu. And then we just want to tell you that good ideas usually fail all the time, all the time. Like just because you have a good idea, especially a good business idea, doesn't mean that you're actually going to succeed. We have seen good business ideas fail all the time in the world. They might be interesting, but they're not sensational. They might be truthful, but they're not mind blowing. They might be important, but they're not life or death. And the key, really, that will make your idea stand out is how you communicate your idea. There were many social media platforms before Facebook came out. Some of you might have used MySpace back in the days, but where is it today? And and you can see the way that Facebook is trying to adopt. You can see the way Instagram is trying to adopt. Snapchat was eating much of Facebook's audience with their, kind of their story, the 24-hour thing. And Facebook tried to buy Snapchat for, I think, $1 billion back in the day, and Snapchat said no. They went back for $3 billion. Snapchat said no. So Facebook, decided to adopt. So now we have WhatsApp statuses, we have Instagram stories, we have Facebook stories, etc. Because just because you're a good idea, you can also still die. So how do you stand out? How do you become a successful business? How do you become a viable business? You must be able to woo your people. You must be able to communicate this idea, to pitch it, to get feedback, and to get buy-in. And we're talking about your family, your friends, and and people that I call fools. So fools are people that they might not be stupid, but they're people who are willing to take a bet on you, even though you don't have the masses. People want to know that your stuff actually works before they join in. But you must have people who are willing to bet on you, people who are not your friends and they're not your family members, but they're also still willing to bet on your business. And this comes down to the way that you're communicating your idea. You must be able to communicate it as a story. You're touching their emotions and you're harnessing them. You're communicating about how credible your story is actually solving the problems in their lives, etc. You must be able to woo your people in the business. Most of the way these things usually start is that one person has the idea, but he or she has to build a team. It was the same thing for me. The people that I co-founded Endless Tech with, they also had an idea. Like, we found each other all sharing an idea of starting a company. We were still students, we were still in our second year of our 4-year degree, and they had an idea to start a company. I had an idea to start a company, but for it to become a viable business, everybody must be able to articulate their role in that particular business. And this must be, you must have a plan of action for your weaknesses. You must be able to know that this is an area of weakness for me, and this is my plan of action of countering it. But this is an area of strength for me, and this is actually going to be my role in that business. So you must solve the U equation. If you want your business to become a viable business, you must say that I am going to take this role in this particular business. Then there's the two function, which is you must be able to build a team that will help you fill the gaps caused by your weaknesses. Now, like, we know that there's no person that is perfect, so you must be able to identify your weaknesses and surround you with people that are solving those weaknesses. So, for instance, I've always been sharing this with people that when I was starting this company, I made sure that I was getting into the company with people who are better than me in the areas that they are better. So I took people who were really, really, really good in what they're trying to achieve, in what they're trying to do, to the point that without any issues to the business itself. Something else that you must be able to do is you must be able to identify your target audience. And I know that most business schools, teach a lot about this, about how you can segment the market, about how you can identify the people that your solution is actually going to. And this is something that I usually do when I'm advising people, when I'm consulting with people in their own businesses. There's something that we call a possible customer. And basically the idea that we usually work with when we're consulting with people for their business is that there's 3 ways that you can interact with people as a business. First is the need-based interaction. And by this, we're saying that your business is solving a particular need in the market. And what you can offer them is a needed product. So, for instance, you open a restaurant because people have a need to eat, so you are addressing a need. You're giving them a needed product. But if I open a restaurant close to you, the only thing that now is going to differentiate you is if you're able to listen to the customers so that you know what is their desires. So for instance, maybe people want to have an option where they can order food and you deliver it to their offices, So we call this a desired product. You've moved a little farther from a needed product, because anyone can solve a needed product, because anyone can see a need. And that is why business ideas are common. So you've moved from a needed product, you're now at what we call a desired product. And people at desired product, they are improvising, they're innovating all these new cool features, features that would differentiate them from every other person that is in the market. But even at the desired product level, you come to find that while not all the ideas in your desired product might be able to be copied by your competitor, you find out that customers usually run out of ideas. If you're a young industry, you might find that, oh, my customers have such brilliant ideas, and your business is growing, and you're innovating, and you're making it possible for them to become successful. But as time goes, you come to find out that customers usually run out of ideas, and that is where most businesses stuck. They stuck at a desired product. And the problem with the desired product is that if somebody has better features than you, your customers are going to leave you in favor of them, And so what we try to do with our customers, people that we consult with, as they're trying to set up their businesses, or as they're trying to revive their business, or as they're trying to reposition their business, is what we call a possible customer. And this possible customer is usually served by a possible product, what we call a possible product. So a possible product is a product that, yes, it addresses the need. Yes, maybe it has what the customer desires, but this is something that you have completely gone, even sometimes, against what the customer think they want. And you're trying to build a new segment of customers, a segment of customers that the industry has not yet defined, has not yet profiled, so that you are actually the only person who's serving this kind of people. It is something similar to what the Blue Ocean strategy and the Blue Ocean shift books are trying to address. You're trying to create your own market segment. And so, for instance, to cater there's snacks for people who are diabetic. She's automatically serving a possible product, because no customer has asked for it. And yes, people who have diabetes, or people who are on a diet, yes, maybe they do need special diet, but they usually just fend for themselves. But the fact that she has carved this niche market out there, it means that she's ahead of the competition. And this is the who that I want you to try to identify in your business. You must be able to find this possible product. And you usually, it's an exercise 2 days, but the goal now would be for them to identify a niche, new market that they are serving, that would set them way, way above and beyond all the competition. And then after that, obviously, is the do and attack. You just must attack. You just must attack and attack and attack and attack. And you, as you're doing, you must be able to adapt accordingly, because things change, and things change fast, and you must now be able to adapt. And as you ensure that your business is sustainable and is successful. I have just a couple of pointers here, and I know that my fellow presenter is going to come in and speak even further in this part of sustainability. But the third quote that I want to leave with you is that good ideas plateau. So good ideas turn into business, and many times end up just as a small business or as a medium-sized business. They never grow to be their actual potential. So businesses rise and fall, grow, and are stunted according to the capacity of the people. the business, there's never been a business on earth that outgrows the people that are inside the business. So if you think that your business is stuck, it might be you. Like you might be the problem. Yeah. And as I'm wrapping it up, I only have two like learn from the mistakes of others. There's a wise man called Cato the Elder. He lived a couple of years back, actually a couple of centuries before Christ. And he has a quote that says, "Wise men learn more from fools than fools from wise men. For wise men avoid the mistakes of fools, but fools copy not the wisdom of the wise." As much as you can as an entrepreneur, please learn as much as you can. Learn from their mistakes, read biographies, read articles that I wrote when we were celebrating 5 years in this business that I titled top 5 mistakes that entrepreneurs make. You might catch it in my Medium account. Maybe I'll try to share the link in the chat after I finish talking. You might want to go and read my mistakes so that you don't repeat my mistakes. That is what you're supposed to do. You should not be making mistakes that other entrepreneurs have made in the past. Learn as much as you can from others so that you know a list of what not to do. Okay? You must be starting smarter than I started. You must be starting smarter than everybody else that has started before you. Yeah, so that is something that you must not do. And what should you do? There's two things that I think are very important for a business to be sustainable. The first one is culture. If you want your business to be sustainable, you must be able to create processes, you must be able to create policies, procedures, courses of actions. And I know that these things sound mundane, sound like boring, but I want you to know they even sound rigid. But if you want your business to be sustainable, it must have culture. It must be able to bounce back in case something happens. So if something happened, everybody in the business must know that this is the course of action that we usually take. This will definitely help your business to be sustainable as a business. And finally, I know that most business schools tell people to be most business schools tell people to be to have plans, and as their plans they're talking about having these goals and based on performances and results. But I want to tell you, if you're planning, plan people. So don't plan goals and ideas, plan people. What do I mean by planning people? So for instance, you've started a business. I want you to be able to say that, you know, as I'm celebrating 3 years of this business, I want my team to be made up of this and this people who have this and this skills. Do you know what that will do to you? That will help you to be more focused in terms about who you're bringing in and who you're keeping out, about who you're partnering with, about what the type of people and what type of culture that you're building. And it will even help you. It will even help you create now the goals that are in line with the skills that you're actually bringing into your business. So those are my contact information. Feel free to communicate with me. And I think that will mark the very end of my presentation. I would like now to turn the mic back to Felicia. Felicia, welcome.
Thank you, Samson. That was a brilliant, wonderful presentation, full of so many insights. And, you know, just reminded me of this book called The E-Myth Revisited. It's on entrepreneurship. That just one of the things that it talks about is how, you know, as entrepreneurs, we need to build businesses that can just, you know, operate themselves while we are away, or when you fall sick, or when you can travel, like for a few weeks, and just having your business running smoothly. And where you speak about investing in people or make a people plan, that resonates very well. So I hope as people here in this participating in this session, I hope they can reflect and think about their ventures, their businesses, even if you're just selling something so small, maybe you're just buying from somewhere like wholesale or in a retail shop or something, and you're fully in charge. I think these are the things that you need to start thinking. How do you want to create a vision? How do you want to, create a place where you can have more people helping you or working with you so that your business can grow? So thank you so much, Samson, for a wonderful presentation. I think there's a lot that we can just speak out, and use the chat, please, to let us know what are the things that stood out for you. Was it on the success part, or was it on the sustainability part, or on the viable business? Let us know what are the things that really stood out, or what are you going to apply, what are you going to put to work. That would be nice. And if you have any questions, please keep them coming. Just post them, or you can reserve them for our Q&A session with our panelists. And now, without further ado, I would like to welcome our next presenter, this lady, wonderful lady. Her name is Nema Robert, Dr. Nema. I hope you are ready and set. Let me just, oh, great, great, there you are. So good evening, Dr. Nema, welcome.
Okay, so I can proceed, Felicia?
Yes, yes, please, the floor is yours.
Great. Yeah, so good evening, everyone. I'm really sorry my video, it's a little bit blur, but at least you can see my face a little bit. I hope that is okay. As I start to present, of course, I'll take it off so that you don't concentrate in the blur video. But thank you so much for this opportunity and this platform. Thank you, Felicia, for organizing this. And thank you, Samson, for a very interesting presentation. Felicia, is it okay if I share the screen from my side? I just did some few steps, if that is okay with you. Great. Thank you so much. Great. So when Samson finished and Felicia started to comment on the last presentation, then she mentioned something which made me think about, okay, well, most of the time when we talk about entrepreneurship, we think about business. And for some people, it's a side hustle. For some people, it's a main hustle. And the way people take this differently is differently because of how they give it a priority, how much does it contribute in their lives and all that stories. So I'm gonna say something about that as I'm introducing myself. For my dad, entrepreneurship was a main hustle because for him, he didn't go much to school. Okay, he had a basic education. I hope he's not seeing this anywhere. But so for him, it was a main hustle. And we grew up just knowing about business, knowing about entrepreneurship. We had maybe 8 businesses. We had from a bar selling liquors to a milling machine, to stationaries, to tailoring, to anything you can think about. Like my daddy was doing everything. And that's how we grew up. And you're told, like, go check on that business, go get money from that business, go today, that lady is not there, so you have to be in that business. So my whole life, I grew up that way. That's what I knew. Yes, I went to school, but in every holiday, I have to be on those businesses. Later on in my life, yes, I went to school and I did some finance studies and business studies. But I didn't stop doing business. I just can't. It's in my blood. It's what I know. It's what I can do best. I don't know if I can say that, but for me now, it's a side hustle. But I know I learned from the best because for my dad, it was a main hustle. So I was joking to someone just yesterday. This friend of mine, I introduced him to business. He didn't know anything about business. And 5 years ago, I was like, you know what? You can do business. He was complaining a lot about his job. And I'm like, you can do business, just quit, just resign. And I said, no, but I don't know nothing about business. I said, no, you'll start here. I will show you how to do it and stuff and stuff. So he quit his job, he resigned, and then he started business. And throughout the way, I was like challenging him, giving him tips of how to do it and stuff. So now for him, because it's a main hustle, then he's doing it good. Yeah, he's improving day by day. So yesterday he was asking me something, and then I was giving my advice, and he's like, come on, you don't know anything about business. You're a lecturer. You just go into lecture. What do you know about business? And I'm like, dude, sorry, wait, do you remember that I introduced you to business? So it's different. It's different feeling when it's your main hustle. It's different feeling when it's your side hustle. But all in all, the rules of the game are the same. Whether you're gonna be a midfielder, you're gonna be a striker, or wing, or wherever, a back, the rules of the game are the same. So I'll just take off my video now. I think you've seen me a little bit. So I'll just go to the slides, and I'll go fast because Samson has already covered a lot of amazing things, and I don't want to repeat because it will be boring. And as I said, I'm a lecturer here in Tanzania at the University of Dar es Salaam. And one of the things which I hate is making my students bored. So I'm gonna go a little bit fast, but I hope it's okay. If it's too fast, just send a chat. Well, so I'm gonna talk a little bit about successful and sustainable businesses. Some of the businesses are successful, but not sustainable. Some of them are sustainable, but not very successful. But always it depends on how you define successful for you. And successful business, and this can be different from me to you, but I'm just saying what I'm thinking and what I know. For a successful business, for me, I think it's when it meets your initial goals. Like, why do you want to start a business? If I ask you that, because if you come to me and say, Dr. Nema, you know what, I want to start a business and stuff like that, I'll be like, okay, why do you want to start a business? Maybe you have this problem you want to solve in the society. Maybe you want to make money, which is okay. Maybe you just want to plan for your retirement in very early, whatever your goal is, like what's your goal? And sometimes when we see that we're making progress towards our goals and we're like, okay, this is a successful business because I can see that that problem which I wanted to solve, maybe in this school, they didn't have anyone to bring food, and I saw the opportunity. I decided to bring food, and people now can buy food. Then I solved the business problem. That's for me. I met my initial goal. Oh, successful business for others, they will tell you about financial returns, and of course, this is what you want to see later because you don't want to run a broke business. That one you should take from me. You want a business which can run itself, which is can finance itself. So financial return is very important. You want to see some profits. You don't want to see debts after debts after debts. So that also can also define as a successful business. But the other thing which just learned lately is doing things which makes you happy. Like it doesn't matter if it doesn't make everyone else happy, but if the business I'm doing, it makes me happy, then it's successful for me. Whether I'm selling clothes and everyone is like, oh, everyone is selling clothes, why do you want to sell clothes? But if I like fashion and this makes me happy, then for me, it's a successful business. If I'm enjoying, I'm looking forward to it, to go to my business, I'm like dreaming more of expanding and all that, then it makes me happy and it's successful. But then, as I say, there's successful business and there is a sustainable business. So a business can be successful, but not very sustainable. And again, I just learned about this impact investment very recently in my life. And it's about, okay, we do businesses, but we want to do businesses which have impact for them to be sustainable. You know, something which is not having that much of an impact, it's easily fading away. People can forget about it so quickly. Okay, you can sell clothes, it's okay, well and good, but then somebody else can open a shop selling clothes, and okay, they're moving there, they're moving there. It's successful, but not very sustainable. You want to see some impact to what you're doing, and we're calling it impact investment. And when we're talking about impact investments, we're talking about environment impact, but also social impact. You want to see what's the impact you're doing to environment. And again, I just had somebody say last week, and I was like, okay, this is a very good point. Sometimes you'd be like, okay, so Dr. Nema, you're saying I should start a business which relates to environment. Should I use the natural things or whatever, whatever? They say this: if you can't add, then at least reduce the negative. If you can't add the positive in the environment, then reduce the negative you're causing to the environment. So whatever the business you're doing, you want it to stay there for a long time, for a long time. You want the materials you're doing to be there. You want the people to be there and all that. So you want the environment to be safe so that it can stay for long. So you have to protect the environment somehow. And for me, that makes a lot of sense. You have to think about that when you're starting a business, about the impact you're doing to the environment. If you can, it can be a plus, then it's good. But if you can minimize the negative, it's also best. But also think about the social impact. And here we have this, what we call the social enterprises. They are falling here, but even in just a normal business, you can think about what's the impact I'm doing directly to the society. I want to have some kind of a social impact. Okay, whether it's creating more jobs, it's solving the problem which was there in the community. What's the impact which my business is having to the society? And most of the people, as I said, they think about the financial return, which is good, but also think about the society is gaining what from your presence. And if they think that, and they believe that your business is doing is bringing a positive impact to them, those are your customers. Those are the people you're expecting that you can grow your business with. So they will support your business, and it will be sustainable. It will continue to be there again and again. And later we are going to see that even other people who are watching you from the distance, they're really concerned about like what's different about your business, what's the impact you're doing. There are people who are very conscious about the environment. There are people who are very conscious about the social values and social impact. So they will be watching from the distance, and they will see that when we come to the investors who can invest in your business. So I just wanted to highlight that very quickly. And after that, I will just tell you some tips. As I said in the beginning, rules of the games are the same, and probably I'm not going to cover all of them, but I'm just going to share with you some of them which I think they're important when you want to start a business. I understand that some of you probably already have businesses, but I hope that from this few minutes discussion, you'll get something to improve your business, something like that. So number one tip for my friends who probably they don't have a business at all, they're looking forward to it. You need to develop a business idea. And this is already a difficult job itself because you'll have 100. I will tell you this, when I sleep, I have another business idea. When I go to shower, that's my best place to think. I will have several business ideas. When I walk, I will just have a lot of them. But at the end of the day, you have to decide like which business idea are you really going to work on it. You're going to take it further. You're going to give it a go. So that's the very important part. And trying to put you some points for you to help you to think around. Try to do what you're good at. You have passion on it. For instance, if you like singing, think about it. Can you do something around music? Any business around music, you have a passion of it? Or you like cooking, you can think about a business around that. Or you like drawing, you're an artist. Any business you can do around that. So try to think and find yourself, what am I good at? What is that thing which I can just wake up and do it and I'm enjoying it and I know I'm good at it? Is it public speaking, you can speak excellent before people. What the money you can get out of it, maybe a corporate MC or something like that. So you think about what you're good at, you have a passion with it. But sometimes, as Samson said, most of the ideas are not new. You can do what others do, but you add value to it. I'm always saying, like, you can be creative somehow. You can't just do it 100% like the way others are doing. No. You just have to think about, how can I add value on this? How can I do this differently? Yes, I want to sell clothes, but how can I do it differently? Am I going to say that I will sell 2 clothes and 1 perfume? If you buy 2 clothes, I'm going to add you 1 perfume. Like, how can you add value in the same idea which other people are already doing, but you add value to it? So you have to think about that. The other thing is, you can think about the problem which you want to solve in the society. One of my friends told me this. This was 8 years ago, and he came to me and said, you know what? If you want to make a lot of money, you have to solve a problem which is affecting a lot of people. Even if you're gonna get small from all of them, then that's a lot. It's a law of large numbers, we call it that. So if you can think about, or if you can identify the problem which is around your community, around your society, in your family, whatever, in your school, in your university, whatever you are, at your workplace, and you come up with a solution on how to solve that particular problem. And we can all be witnesses for this. Mark Zuckerberg, the owner of Facebook, Instagram now and everything, he just thought about, okay, people want to communicate, they want to see each other, they want to do this, and boom, now he's one of the multi-billionaires. So just think about, and it doesn't have to be complicated. You don't have to like innovate a robot or something like that. Others came up with the Microsoft, others who came up with the computers and all that, but you can just have a very light solution. You can think about it that way, but it might have very, like, people will be like, this is what we needed, and there you're doing it. So think about the problem which you want to solve in your society. Number 2, conduct a market research. When you think about your problem, you identify your business idea, do some research. Who will be my customers before you go for it? You can think about something and probably it's just 2 or 3 people who are really thinking about it. You can say, this is a problem, I'm telling you, this is the problem I want to solve, but how many people do you think that problem is affecting them? So who will be my customers? How many are them? Where are them? So think about that. Which category do I want to focus on? Do I want to focus on youth? Do I want to focus on women, men, adults, children? Which is my area? And you just need to focus. And I always think that if you can focus, then that is good. It's easy. Think about the location of your business. If you want to do it online, why do you want to do it online? And because you're doing your market research, probably you go online and see different people who are doing that business there. Or you want to do it somewhere, you want to have an office, a physical address. Where do you want to do it? Do you want to do it in the what do you call it, center of the town, or you want to do it a little bit out of the town? Where do you want to do it, and why do you want to do it there? You should have a reason for why do you want to do it wherever you choose. But most of the time, we say that do it in a place where your targeted customers are. Who are your competitors? You have to research on that. How big are they? Are they very big? And we're not doing this to scare ourselves. You have to know your enemy so that you can plan your game rightly. So you just want to know about them. What are their strengths, weaknesses? What are the opportunities which I can take, the threats and all that? You got to know who are you going to play this game with in the industry or the business area which you chose, so that you know how to maneuver around it. Pricing, how am I going to price? And that's now is linking to the competitors. Probably your competitors are selling this thing which you want to sell 10,000 and you like, okay, when I'm coming there, I'm gonna sell it for 9,500, and you know that is my penetration prices. And this is a huge topic, but I'm not gonna go about that. But there's different prices at different stages of your businesses. When you start a business, we have what we call penetration moment. You want to penetrate the market. They don't know you, remember. No matter how brilliant your idea is, how good it is, they don't know anything about you. So you want to introduce yourself in the market, build and win their trust first before you start to make those really money, the profit. So this penetration price, when they know about you, you try to introduce another price and all that and add a little bit of value, the packaging and stuff like that, for you to be able to start seeing the profit you're looking forward. But think about the risk. What are the risks around your business? Is it a seasonal business? Maybe you're going to tourist industry. You wanna build a tourist company, but you know that this is season. There's sometimes it will be high season, sometimes it will be low season. In the low season, what am I gonna do? What's the risk around it? If this is my main hustle, you have to think about that. Maybe your business is highly affected by the government laws and regulations. Tomorrow they can wake up and say, this thing is banned, so you can't import anymore. So you have to think about it. And we can be witnesses for this, even around Corona. A lot of businesses were affected and maybe they didn't see it coming, but later they realized that most of their raw materials, which they're using for their businesses, those who are importing things which they are reselling, the trading industry, they faced a lot of losses and all that because they didn't see that coming. So if you identify your risk areas, it's easy to develop some measures in the very beginning, like what am I gonna do if this happens? And you put that down. If you think the risk is too high, then you stop it. But you can find out about this when you're doing your research. Number 3, pilots. Before you start the real production, or before you go to China now and get that container full of things, bring it here. Try to do some pilot, bring few products, put them in the market and see what are the customers saying. Probably you're doing something which is 100% from you. You're cooking something, is a new recipe. You want to introduce that to the market, or you're making a new fashion, whatever it is which you're doing, and it's something which is new. Don't start in the beginning with the mass production. Just make few products, put them in the market, hear what people are saying. And there, when you're getting the feedback, which is very, very important, listen very careful and be positive, because some people are going to trash it. They will tell you the truth that this thing is not working. This color, my friend, this taste, this smell is bad. So listen carefully, just be positive, because you know exactly what you're doing. You're testing, and the feedback is very important for you to improve the final product. Read between the lines. Some people will be like, oh yeah, this is really good, but you know when something is not good, and when somebody is saying to you that this is good or this is not good, you can read between the lines. So try to, don't encourage yourself like, everyone likes it, but is that the truth? Can you say genuinely that they like it? Try to read between the lines. Sometimes they will be genuinely liking it. Sometimes they will just be telling you because you're their friends. They don't want to hurt your feelings. Oh, you're my child, you're my son, you're my daughter. I don't want to hurt your feeling, but they're not telling you the truth. So you will notice that. But not the pattern of the answers. If in 10 people, 6 say you can do better, take that. Don't just think about the 4 people who say this is the best. Think about those 60% of the people who gave you feedback and say you can improve here, you can improve there. Collect that information, write it down. Don't leave any information out there. Just write down everything, every feedback you're getting, because for you, you're thinking far. You're thinking about mass production. You're thinking about putting your money and your time on it. So any information you can get in the beginning is really, really important. So put it down. And one of my previous bosses say, unless it's written, it's not done. So write everything down. Don't assume like, oh, I get it, I can remember it. Just put it down. Ask questions for details. When they don't give you more details, ask questions and get more details. Number 4, register your business.
Dr. Nema, you have 2 minutes.
Okay, I'm gonna just finish it. Make sure that you register your business, decide on how you want to register it. Is it gonna be a partnership with your friends? You're gonna do it alone? Is it a company? Decide the name of your business. If you wanna use your surname, okay, but think about the name of the business which will attract the audience, the customers which you are targeting on. Make your business formal. Don't do something informal. It will hinder you from getting a lot of good opportunities out there. So make your business formal and get license and permits. Again, you don't want any problems with the government and the law authority and all that. Just get the license, get all the permits, do it freely so that you can do it big. Number 4, have a business plan. And 100%, I'm not going to go into this. A lot of business people, they don't like business plans, but I'm telling you, my friends, you really need to have a business plan. And basically it's just writing down what you want to do, what's your idea, and where do you want to do it. 2 pages, 1 page, just start roughly and you can improve it later. It will help you to focus. It will help you to communicate with your investors, the potential investors. You go to the bank to get a loan, they will tell you, bring a business plan. So you need to have this document down in the very beginning. It will also help you to monitor the progress of your business. Number 6, have the financial plan. You need finances, and a lot of business people, they'll be like, I have an idea, but I don't have money. Come on. There's different stages. In the beginning, you have to have your own saving, even if it's just little, even if it's $100, $50, $20, it doesn't matter. You just have to have something of your own to sell this to others, to your family and friends. You say, I have this at hand. This is my idea here. I wrote everything down and I have $100. Please, I need to raise $500. So it's easy when you have something. Then you can have some seed capital. People will put their money in. The angels, we call them business angels, who will trust on your idea and they will chip in. Bank loans come very later. This one you should take it from me. Most of the banks, they don't want to give you the money in the beginning. They will give you the money later. Venture capital and equity, this is another story which I'm not going to go into it. Then start your production. Invigilate the whole process. Don't just trust people to go and get everything for you and you just go there and as a boss. Invigilate the whole process. Be there, manage your business. Have an expert to monitor it. If you're not around, don't just put your auntie, your grandma, your sister, your brother, your uncle. Have an expert to monitor your business for if you want to see the real results. Deal with expert, not generalist. This is almost linking the previous point. Don't rely on one person for everything because that person can quit tomorrow. And if they quit, are you going to stop business? Are you going to stop everything? So don't rely on one person. That's why we say you also have to know the business. If it's a production, whatever, you're making cakes, you also have to know it. Don't rely on one person and get affordable experts. Build a team. Explain to them and let them own your vision. You can't do this by your own self. Whether they're gonna be directly employees of yours, they're gonna be casual, they'll be your friends, wherever they are, but build a team of those people who will own your vision the way you own it. Have a culture around, let them understand exactly what you want. If you want them to respect the business, come there on time, dress in a certain way, communicate to the customers in a certain way, build a culture within your business, even if it's small. This is the customer care which I want. This is how I want to dress. This is what we do when we pick up the phone when you're at the business area. Understand your team, understand their strengths and weaknesses so that you know who to put where, and be one of them. Don't be the boss in your business, but be one of the team members in the business if you really want to see it going further and the team are happy, the team is happy, and you're also happy. So I'm gonna stop there. Thank you. I hope it was not boring. Thank you, Faleji.
Thank you so much. And thank you for keeping your promise because definitely, at least for me, it wasn't boring and I enjoyed. It was rushed, but very well covered. So thank you so much, Dr. Nema. Your students must be enjoying your lectures a lot. So I like how you have connected from Samson's session and just getting us to to these very practical tips. And I think they're very applicable to any kind of business. As you said, rules are rules. And also I liked how you also brought the idea of how businesses should be viewed in a complete picture. They should have an impact, that they should give you financial rewards, and also it should be something that you really are passionate about doing. So I think it already addresses some of the questions that participants raised, or that we collected as well. So thank you so much, Dr. Nema, for that. And I don't know, I think you're not going to be staying for the panelists, right? For the
Yes, so
discussion.
I will be around for a few minutes. Yes.
You'll be around for a few minutes. Okay, so maybe we can just let me just quickly introduce the panelists, and then because some of the panelists are new, and then we will start with the questions. I'm seeing that there's already a question here from one of the participants that I will just have any. I think maybe you will start, Dr. Nema, to address that. So please let me just first a round of applause to our to our presenters for the awesome work, just to cover a whole huge topic on entrepreneurship. That's a huge topic, I'm telling you. And they just had to do it in like 20 minutes. That's wonderful. And I think you must have gotten some very key things to reflect on or improve on your business from whatever you are doing or you're planning to do. So thank you so much for that brilliant work. I must say you're just all great. And now let me just quickly introduce our panelists of which we're going into. Now we get into the questions, and I want to see your questions coming in. Raise your hand, and I will just have you to join us and speak. If you want to speak or you want to put your video on, would love to see you or hear you directly, or you can as well use the chat. So we have wonderful more ladies this time. I know you've been seeing gentlemen since we started. So we have Dr. Marian Taimu from Botswana, uh, who will just briefly first introduce herself, and then just before we go to the questions, and then I will introduce another one just quickly. Welcome, Dr. Marian.
Hello, Felicia. So
Hi.
nice to have you here.
Thank you too.
Thank you
Welcome.
very much. Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Nina and Samson, for that wonderful presentation. It was so insightful and interesting. My name is Dr. Marian. I am based in Botswana, but I am Zimbabwean. I do lecture business modules. I also consult businesses, SMEs, and large businesses. Primarily, my areas usually on entrepreneurship, SMEs, marketing, and such areas, governance, project management. Those are the areas that I am working on, and those are the areas that I also consult. I have also had experience in businesses. I've run about, I should say, 4 businesses, 3 of them successful, 1 was a big failure. So I do know a lot about business and experience and how to start and how to take the theory that you learn in school and put it into practice. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Marino. Looking forward to hear a lot of that as we get on. So thank you. Next of our panelists is Ms. Angel Chingali from Tanzania. She's we call her a power lady. This lady with rich entrepreneurial experience. She's a friend and a sister, and I am so happy to introduce her. Angel, welcome. Would you please just briefly introduce yourself, and then we'll get to the questions. If you're on mute, okay.
Thank you, Felicia, and thank you, everyone. Thank you for to the presenters also. It was really a good presentation. I also learned a lot, as I like to listen and learn. So my name is Angela Chingali, as Felicia introduced me, and I am a full-time entrepreneur. I deal with wholesale importation of goods from China, Dubai, and my business is based in Kariakoo market. For those in Tanzania must have, they know about the market, the famous market. And also, I also run a company, it's called Tan Tax Consultants, where we do tax consultation and accounting, because professionally, I'm a certified public accountant. Yeah, so I am here to listen and to learn because I like listening. And I'll try to share my experiences. Felicia knows that I'm not a very good public speaker, but I'll try to share my experiences. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Angel, and we're looking forward to get so much. And yeah, I think one of the things that you left out is that Angel was working in corporate public service and then left to be full-time entrepreneur. So we'll also be interested to hear the shift from workplace, the risk and everything, because some of the people here, I think we heard from Dr. Nem about the side hustle and getting full-time into business and maybe how hard or easy that is as well. So welcome our dear panelists. Samson, I hope you're still around. Samson and Dr. Nema. Okay, I hope Samson has not left us. Oh, great, great, great. So yeah, we are having Samson and Dr. Nema joining us, and then we are having a few questions here. Please raise your hand or chip in as well. We would like to pose and just get to the live questions and address them as well. So now, because Dr. Nema will be leaving soon, I wonder if Dr. Nema will be okay to first address the questions that is on the chat before we get on with our panelists. Maybe you can stay maybe for like a round or something and feel comfortable whenever you want to leave. But I would like for you to take this question from Abdul Kileo that says, at first, do you really need to advertise your business or just need to do good service or best products to get people's attention? I think that's around visibility. Okay, do you need to put effort in actual advertising or just be very good at your service or your product and get the customer's attention? What are your thoughts on that, Dr. Nema? And then we can hear from others as well.
Okay, thanks, Felicia. And that's very interesting question. And I'll try to do my part, and the other panelists will probably do the justice on it. But for me, I will say it this way. In marketing, I like to divide it in three parts. There's a part of promotion, there's a part of publicity, and there's a part of branding. And what really stays and which you're really doing every day, as the person who asked this question said, should I do a good business? That's creating your brand, building your brand. And when you have a strong brand, even if one day you come out and you promote you now want your customers to know about it, they will already trust your brand somehow. You know, when Coca-Cola is promoting the products, we already know the brand and we trust the brand. So it's easy to chip in that. And sometimes in the beginning, I'll say, don't put a lot of money in advertisement for the sake of promotion. Maybe publicity. You can go more in the public gatherings and present yourself there, be there somewhere with your booth or something with your products, but the way you appear, it should be really appealing to the extent that people will be interested to be like, who is this person? I'm not promoting anything. I'm just making appearance for the publicity purposes, but I'm building my brand in the process. Then later, when now I've already built my brand somehow, and there's a little bit of publicity, now I can put in money for a real advertisement and promotion to boost my sales and all that. So I would say in the beginning, don't put so much money in advertisements, concentrate much on quality efficiency, build that brand, appear. I like this quote which they say, appear somewhere, be seen, be heard, be there, and just let the people notice you. Yeah.
Rated it. I think he gave more explanation, like what kind of products he says he produces. Ali produced body, I think it's jelly, I think, and lip therapy from honey and NTA. Current, I use agents to supply my products to different places in Tanzania. The challenge is on the morale of my agents. Every day it goes down and some give up due to slowly accepting of the products. What should I do to motivate them and increase sales? So it's around that. Probably he's having people that help him to kind of distribute and sell. But now, yeah, it's about how to put more efforts maybe to increase sales. But there is also an issue about how you can increase morale for the agents. So just more elaboration, but thank you so much. I think that was a very good point that you said there about how at the beginning should spend less on advertising, but more on the quality and other think cost effective or rather cheaper ways to bring presence, yeah, and awareness. So I don't know if there is another person who wants to add on that, just to what Dr. Nema said.
Sorry, Karesha, if it's okay, just to assist
sure,
him a little bit more. I faced cases like him where the people have very good products, but they can't just penetrate in the market. And what we had to do a market research. Like, what is wrong? Why are the people not knowing the product? Is it about the packaging? Is it we are using a wrong method to take the products wherever they need to be taken? For him, it's a food product. Does it have the standards, the quality standard, the TBS, TFDA, and all that? How is it packaged? Where is he taking it? Is it in the supermarket? Is it in the normal shops? What are the customers is he targeting? So he really needs to go back in the market and try to talk to his targeted customers and know why are they not accepting his products. Yeah.
Thank you very much. And I wish I could, I don't remember the books. I wish I could recommend the books on testing. I think it says testing with humans. I'm not sure, but there are books that really are helpful to help an entrepreneur or someone who is dealing with customers to know more. So when I remember, I'll just put them on the chat. And you don't have to have a big sample. You can just ask like maybe 20 people or 30, but get their insights and ask them a lot of different questions. I was just cementing on what Dr. Nema said as a very important input. So thank you so much. Maybe would there be anyone who wants to add a little bit to that before we go to the other questions?
Felicia, so I would like also to add to where Dr. Nema said.
Yes.
So advertising is very crucial and it's very, very important for the business. But also before you advertise, you also have to learn about your customers, to learn about your market so that you do not advertise to the wrong people. Like you need to understand your customers in and out. Who is your target market? Because you might be selling, she said he's selling honey. So you might be selling to people who probably don't need it. So you need to go back to the drawing table and, plan well so that when you advertise, you have to reach the targeted people. And also, as I've seen this problem, it happens to many people. They usually do very huge advertisement, as Dr. Nema said, and then they have limited stock of like what they produce or what they sell. So they give hopes to customers and do very big advertisement. In turn, when customers come, they just sell, no, I don't have it, I don't have it, I don't have it. This is a very, it is a very bad step when you are growing your business. So you have to go step by step. If you have a certain amount of products, then you have to limit your advertisement to, maybe to family or friends, and then when you grow, you keep increasing the level of advertisement. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Angel, for that. Okay. Oh,
I
Dr.
can
Marion,
also,
I think you want to, yes.
yes, from what Angel is talking about, and also Nima. So when you're advertising, you're trying to communicate to your target audience about the brand or the product that you have in place. So the communication is telling them what you have, what kind of product, and what the product does for them. One thing you should always remember in business is that you are selling something that is solving a problem. No one wants to buy something just to buy. So what kind of problems are you solving for this person? So you need to communicate that directly to them. And in advertising, I would want to bring it more like promotion, where you're trying to promote your product so that it has, because it's talking about sales. So think about the different ways you can promote your product and be able to get the target audience to understand about your product, to know what it can do for them. So you can probably go for word of mouth. Word of mouth is one of the good and very easiest ways to get an audience. And I think that was covered by Nima when she was talking about the quality of the product. If you have good quality product, people are going to talk about your product and people are going to refer each other. You can also have a collection of emails from the people that buy, then you kind of get reviews. What do you think about my product? What is missing? What can I do to improve? You can also, like maybe if you see that the sales are really not moving, try to reduce smaller quantities and say a promotion like 2 for 1 or a discount. And also try to get some publicity in your country. I see you're from Tanzania, where you come out in the paper in a section for SMEs or something like that, so that people know about you and you can they can talk about you. I think it also covers more or less something to do with market research, but it's just a shorter version of it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Marion. Okay, so now let me get to the other questions. Please, I would like to encourage our participants to share some questions if you have any around this topic, and we'll be happy to have them addressed. So let me ask, I think, let me just start with Angel. I would like for us to hear a bit of your story, maybe from your experience as well as knowledge. Maybe what are some of the realities, because there's this desire that we want to venture into entrepreneurship for one reason or another, but now we don't really know what is inside the game or the journey. So what are the, maybe from your own experience, your own journey, what are some of the realities about the entrepreneurship journey that many people that go into it do not know, and maybe they should know early on, but just based on your experience, you wish you knew them early and you had to maybe learn or experience them in a hard way or something. So just share with us your journey and, you know, help us understand on that.
Okay. Thank you, Felicia. So, okay, so my journey, first I was employed as a banker, and then I left my job, and then I was employed at TRA, Tanzania Revenue Authority. For those who in Tanzania know, it's an agency which deals with collection of taxes. So I worked for like 5 years, and then, you know, I am an entrepreneur by spirit, or a born entrepreneur, if you believe something like that exists. So I did quit, and, you know, I decided to start my business. Well, what are some of the realities? First of all, I think if I should advise a youth who is aspiring to become an entrepreneur, you should know that there are a lot of successes in the business journey, in the entrepreneurship journey. Yeah, that's the positive side. You know, you seeing your business grow and money flowing in, you know, your network expanding, knowing people, impacting the society positively. Those are some of the realities that, you know, they are there in the business. They're positive ones, because okay, I just don't like to share the negatives. But then the negative ones now. For example, for me, one of the things that I would maybe change if you tell me that to turn back time is that I cheated nature. So when I say I cheated nature, I mean that you should start small. In any business, you should start small because money is not everything. You know, when I came out of the job, I had money to start and I didn't know the market. I had an idea. So I thought that because I have so much money, then things are going to work out. But then that's not the truth. I was supposed to start small and then keep growing with the business, you know, understanding the market, understanding my customers without putting so much money into the business. Because there is no any amount of money that you can be given that will I don't know what can I say, but experience is more important than any money that you can put into the business. So you have to experience the business as it grows. You have to fail, get back up, understand your customers, understand the market, understand how money goes in, everything, employees and all that. So for me, the first business that I started failed, and I came to realize, you know, later that the mistake that I did was was thinking that having a lot of money first was important. And then, okay, so some of the challenges maybe that you would encounter, I advise you do not have expectation with family and friends. Because when you start a business, some of the people, we expect that the family or friends are the ones who are going to buy our products. But in real sense, they will probably buy for the first time and the second time. But for example, if I sell dresses, they cannot be buying dresses from me all the time. Probably there are times that they don't need dresses. So you have to focus on creating your own cycle of customers, and customers who will be sustainable, and you know, you keep growing them as you share, like you sell to them things that they want, and then you receive feedback, you learn how to retain the customers. And if family and friends buy from you, then that's great, but you should not have expectations that they'll buy from you, because I've met people who complain that their family and friends, you know, they have bad, you know, in Tanzania we say romba, like they're supportive, but no, it's not that they're not supportive. I cannot buy honey every day, or I cannot buy dresses from you every day. So you have to create your own niche of customers. And also, well, some of the challenges, entrepreneurship is a very lonely journey. Sometimes you may need to grow. Now, when you're on the right path, maybe you need money to, you know, to invest in the business, and then like there's no way you can find money. Or sometimes you have suppliers who are not reliable. For example, right now, since COVID did hit in, we are not able to go to China, and so we have suppliers who are Felicia knows my story. There's a time I sent goods in China, like a shipment of like $10,000, I think, yeah. And then the Chinese brought to me, like I cannot even explain. It was dresses, but he brought coats even babies cannot wear. So there are so many challenges. There are so many things that you will encounter. There are bad debts. There are government penalties. For example, you put people in the shop, and then the government comes. Maybe they're like trying to do inspection. They don't issue receipts. So it's a lot of challenges. But despite all these challenges, as I said from the beginning, it's a beautiful story. There are a lot of successes. So like when you look into your goal, you look why you started that business, then all these challenges, they can outdone the challenges. So you just keep going. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Angel. And as she said, I'm aware of some of the stories that she would tell. Some of them are very horrific and scary sometimes, but every time she just rises back and gets on. So we'll come back to you and you'll tell us a bit more about your success, so that also the participants don't lose hope and just, you know, can learn about the successes that you have had, but also how you overcame some of those challenges. Now, let me, Samson, I know you're also an entrepreneur. I'll come to Dr. Marin a bit later to give us a bit about why entrepreneurs or why youth do not want to put in the work into it. Dr. Marin, just get ready for that. But let me touch on, Samson, you're there, right? Let's please hear your experience on entrepreneurship journey, in addition to what Angel was sharing. So how about you? You know, what are the, I would say, what are the failures that you have experienced or mistakes? You said that in your 5 years of business, you wrote a good article about 5 mistakes. You know, there could be 5 failures, 5 challenges that you encountered as an entrepreneur. So how would you like to talk about them, and maybe how our participants or young people can learn from them? Just briefly.
All right, Felicia. Thank you for the chance to speak a little bit more. Thank you for the panelists. I am learning a lot from my fellows. Thank you for sharing your stories. So like I said, I started the company when I was still a sophomore in my undergrad, which means that in so many ways than one, I was foolish. I did not know a lot of things about business. I only knew what I knew, which was software. So we made a lot of mistakes that you might even call honest mistakes, but you know, it is what it is. We made a lot of mistakes back in the day, and you see, part of uh, part of the process is that um, part of the process is that these mistakes could have buried the business along the way. But at least what we were doing is that we were very fast in learning, to the point that anything that was a major issue, and like I said, so I'm sharing the link to the article in the chat room here. But any issue that we learned that was becoming problematic, we were very quick. We tried as much as we could to be very quick in adapting it, in addressing it. So you'd see, for instance, in that link, every single one of our 5 main challenges that we think every entrepreneur is facing out there. There's a book that we've recommended because one of the resources that we're using as a company now is to read books. Both me and my team members, we are avid readers. We would seek out knowledge. So all the way from not knowing what to do or what you're supposed to do, or being very broad and not being very focused, or putting money first instead of valuing the people that you're serving, which is a mistake that I think I'm seeing a lot of young entrepreneurs are doing. They just want to make the money as quickly as possible, which is a problem that we faced in our maybe second year of business and a little bit of the third year. Problems with pricing, which is a big issue, because I think I think at least in the sub-Saharan Africa, I'm seeing most entrepreneurs are charging based on maybe the costs that they have endured, or their pricing based on the time that they've put in, instead of pricing based on value, which is also a problem that we faced. And finally, you know, there's a risk out there of knowing too much and not acting. So there's always a risk of not executing what you know. And that was one of the challenges that we did face, to the point that we knew that we had to be very tactical and very, very practical in terms of what we were going to execute and implement in terms of the plans that we had as a company. So let me just say, so just imagine this scenario. Both me and the three other co-founders were software engineers, yeah. So none of us had any business knowledge. We've never gone to business school. I mean, I did bookkeeping in commerce in O level, but that's it. So we had like major financial literacy issues. But one of the things that we did is that we accepted the reality that we didn't know. We brought in people that knew to help us. We learned ourselves. Like I said, we read books, we watched YouTube, we found courses online. There are so many free courses online, and that is how we were able to build financial literacy. And as the company grew, now that we're bidding tenders that for big organizations or even for the government, we needed to go a step further. So that is why I actually had to go to business school. So I joined Joseph Business School for a 1-year business course. And then after that, Regent University as well. So I think there's no way that you can avoid learning, but I'm saying that not everybody has to be an accountant, but you can at least learn the basics of the financial literacy, so that, for instance, when your accounts person is preparing your books, or when your auditor is giving comments, you are actually able to understand what it is that you're trying to do. And let me tell you something. If you're not recording, it is very easy to think that you're making profit because you're making revenue, but many businesses are not profitable because they are only creating revenue enough to sustain them. I was running the numbers for a business of a friend of mine called Nancy, and she's been doing it for 3+ years, and she thought that she was making profit, but after we got down into the hood, we found out that she's been making losses for 3 years. Now imagine that 3 years you're making losses. But how will you know? You must be able to record your stuff. You must be able to record your inputs, what it is that you put into the business, what is the business bringing out. And always feel free to get an insight of an expert. It might be someone that you don't even have to pay. So for instance, for me and my friend, I'm doing it as a friend, because I want them to succeed. As much as I know that they want me to succeed. So I'm able to look at their numbers and advise accordingly. So maybe you might want to maybe ask somebody to come in and help you with those things. So for instance, once we did our auditing, we realized that in the second year of business, we actually suffered major losses, but we thought that we're doing great business because we had like more clients, but we had suffered great loss. But the only way that we were able to do that is because we were recording, and once the auditor came in and the accounting persons came in, they were able to tell us that, this is the loophole right here, you're losing a lot of money here, and this is how you can tight the ship to make sure that you don't sink. So I think as a business person, as an entrepreneur, there's no end to learning. You must just learn and learn and learn. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Samson. I think you have gone, you've covered quite much, and there's even a question there about financial literacy from one of the participants, and about profits. I think you have addressed that to some extent. I will come back to it if there'll be any addition from the members, because we're going to be talking about money issues a bit later. Now, let's go to Dr. Marian first, and then I'll come back to Angela. Dr. Marian, now we have this issue with young people desiring to be successful business people, entrepreneurs, which is quite a good thing. They have these great role models, the Dangotes, like every sector, every industry, they have a role model, some billionaire making it, and they just want to be like that person. But now when it comes to the real work, putting in the effort, putting in the, the sacrifice, the effort, the work, well, that's not quite encouraging. Which I know if you ask those billionaires how they started, probably they went through sweat, blood, and so much sacrifice. So what do you think, why do many youth who aspire to be great business people, they give up easily and early? They're not willing to put in the work or sacrificing. What is the problem, and how can we help them? So maybe if you can just give us a bit around that, and if Angel or Samson also may add a bit to that, so that we can understand the issue and maybe help them to kind of get out of that, please.
Thank you very much, Felicia, for that. Yes, it is true that most of our youth are struggling in that space and trying to fit in and make a headway. But what I should say is entrepreneurship, you need to persevere. It's not something that you start today and you're going to make profit the following day. So if you're, the reason why you're getting into the business, the reason why you are going and producing products and services to sell to make a profit should be known in the beginning. And I don't think most of the youths know that. It's just a quick making money game that has come into place. And some countries in Africa, they do offer youth grants, and some of them are motivated by that, going to get those youth grants or loans that are available from the government. And getting those, they now start buying things of like wants that they wish for, instead of putting the money into the business. So it's a lot of things that the youth have to understand. And I think one of the most important things that they should always find in the market is, what do we need to change? What are the problems that we have, and how do we change them? Being able to have that in your mind and finding solutions to the problems that you have is one way that youth can actually survive in the market and not give up easily. I'll just give an example of, the recent COVID-19. It's a pandemic. It came, so many people got an opportunity in that space, whether you're in the medical field or not. So that's, taking advantage of the current environment. Also scanning and looking at the environment that you are in, what is needed to be done. Yes, I do know and understand that as an entrepreneur, we drive more on saying you should do what you're passionate about. But so much so, it should be something that is needed in the market. Is it in demand? Or how do you become innovative and creative enough to make it wanted in the market? So we've seen a lot of products, changing from basic needs and advancing to complicated things, especially with technology. And one of the things that I would like to encourage the youth, especially those that are here now, is that you have to understand the technology that is happening in the world, and you have to be driven by technology. You cannot survive in the next space in business if you're just going to be doing things from a manual perspective and not also adapting to the globalization of the environment that we have. And the other thing that I see youths finding a problem in doing business is change, managing change. As soon as there is a change of if it's an economic situation, if it's a political situation in the country, they can't manage and they find it difficult to adapt. So also have avenues, have strategies in place that can make you survive in any environment. And as I say it again, entrepreneurship is hard work. You should be willing to start from the bottom. You shouldn't start saying, this so-and-so has made it, they're making billions, so I just want to get there fast. With no money, you can be an entrepreneur. Offer your services for free. It doesn't matter if you're a youth, you don't have money. If you start offering house help services or gardening services or security services, you're getting money from there, you're growing, and having a vision and having a direction and knowing where you're going should not deter you to start saying that I want to start big. I want to be starting, with a big business, and then all of a sudden I'll have lots of money. So start small, build on that. Once you have that experience of working hard, you're going to have that determination and you're going to keep what you have. I'm sure most of us in Africa have the saying that if you're given something for free, you never value it. It's only when you work hard for something that you're able to value it. And the last thing I want to say is our youth should have practical knowledge. Learn to use your hands, learn to be able to know so much about the business and the way it runs, have some business knowledge. As Samson was saying, learn the basics of accounting, learn the basics of marketing, learn the basics also of the industry that you're in. And as business people, you should have the liberty to do any business that you're in. You shouldn't be limited to say, I trained in health, so I'm only going to do businesses in health. You can transfer from construction, you can go into engineering, you can go into services, consultancy, fashion. As a business person, it's the business aspect that you should have in your mind, that am I producing goods and services that are needed by the market, and how do I package them in a way that they are absorbed at a fast rate in the market. Once you have that, then you have it going on. And I would also encourage them to always be online, always know what is happening in Africa, what is happening in the country that you are living in. Right now, we have the AfCFTA, the African trade, and we are soon going to be having a market of 1.2 billion. Look at that from a futuristic perspective. Don't just also look at your local market, look at exporting. What kind of standards do you have to meet for you to be able to export the goods and services that you have? Thank you very much.
So much, Dr. Mar. That was powerful, great points right there. I think you've just delivered a whole lecture on those pointers for our youth to take away. So now, Angel, I hope, Angel, you're on board. I would like for yes, please give us some insights. You spoke about some of the success. So if you could just share some of the success that you said, the entrepreneurial journey, with all that it has, the challenges, there are great things, wonderful fruits of it. So just give us some of the examples, but also, then I will just connect you to talking about money, because money is always an issue. There are people who think money is everything, like you have to have money, but you showed us that you can have the money, but if you don't go through the hustle, it's like nothing. If you don't really have the business, experience and really going through it. But also, what are some of the ways that you are able to mobilize, maybe acquire money? Is it only from customers, like from sales, or there are other ways that you get money? How do you mobilize it, and also, run and expand your business? Just, move from that bit and tell us about the money stories and how our youth can benefit from that.
Okay, sorry, I've switched off my video.
Okay.
So where do I start? Okay. Felicia, you said you want to know about successes, right?
Yes.
Okay, so for me, success is not fine. Like you always chase success, because I don't think there is anybody who reaches a point and says that now I'm successful, or maybe now I've reached to the point that, this is enough. We always chase and chase and chase and chase. So even in entrepreneurship, so you have stages where the business starts, and then maybe you have a goal to employ maybe 3 people. And then when you employ 3 people, that is a success. You have reached your goal. And then you go now, like maybe I was importing maybe 10,000 pieces. Now I want to import a container full of goods. So when you reach the point that you import a container full of goods, then that's a successful point, and then you move to the next goal and the next goal. Maybe now you're like, I am able to maybe pay loans, pay my salaries on time. And so maybe my goal is to go on vacation or save and build a house. And then you build a house, you move to the next. So that's the success I can share. So for me, well, do you really to know? Okay, so for me, it was like I needed to start a shop, and then I started a shop. It was small, and that was my first goal, and then I achieved it, and then I wanted to move to Kariakoo. I moved to a smaller shop, and then it was a hassle. I wanted to go to China. So like it's a process. So I keep on putting goals, and then I work really hard. I fail a lot, that I fail a lot. And then I get back, and then, I make sure that I reach to the goal that I have put for myself. Maybe if it's 2 years goal, if it's a 1 year goal, or if it's a 5 years goal, I make sure that I reach it on time. Okay, so the other question was about money, right?
Yes.
So for me, the first time I started my business, I started it from the savings that I made from the employment that I left. And as I said, my business failed and I collapsed and I went back to zero. So now, one of the ways that I would like to share, this is very important. I think first of all, one of the qualities that I would really like to advise the youth, you should have integrity, and then you should network with the right people, the right crowd. So for me, the integrity quality has really worked out for me, right? So people, like, I've built trust around people, and they've seen me working hard and all that. So I cannot say this is going to work for everyone, because trust me, when you start a business, you don't know what will happen. You just start, and then challenges, opportunities, everything arises according to an individual. Or like if you are maybe partners, opportunities and challenges arise as you go forward. So you cannot foresee prior the challenges. So integrity has worked for me. So I can tell an example. So for me, I raised money from like, we have a common thing, it's called Kikoba. I don't know if you know about it. Like, people in Tanzania should know about it. So like,
Like savings groups.
Yeah,
savings groups.
Yeah. So it started like 7 years ago. We started in 2014. I think it is 6 years now, or 7 years. So we were saving money. We just started small, saving very little amount of money. And then our challenge was that you have to save. And then when it reaches a certain amount, then we would start, taking loans. And so we have to be trustworthy, because for it to grow, everybody has to, like, take money and return it on time. So through this, I was able to save money, and then this group has really grown. So it is like my main source of like getting money for me to invest. Now, when I'm saying about integrity, this Kikoba thing might not work for you, or you might not get the right people, because sometimes it goes like you need to get the right people. Now I come to the point of networking with the right crowd, because you might network with wealthy people. Now, do not feel ashamed. Like, people say you're choosing people who are wealthy, friends and all that. Yeah, why not? I need to associate with people who are wealthy, because if I need to reach my goal, I need to associate with the right people who can give me like better advice, great advice, and yeah. So now when we come to the point of money, like the financial literacy, you really need to put your numbers well, so that even if you're convincing a person who has money and can, put money into your business and believe in you, you have to show them the numbers that I've been doing business. Maybe I've been selling 1 million a month. Now it's 2 million. Business has been growing, but now I have to move from one stage to the next stage. So I cannot move because I have I cannot go to the bank and take a loan because I have no security. Like, my family don't have money and all that. So I need this amount of money, maybe for a certain return. So a person could trust you just by seeing numbers. I'm not saying this will work, but then one of the qualities of an entrepreneur, you need to be patient. It might not work today, but if you keep, insisting, you keep trying, it might work. So yeah, that, and also, Felicia, that question say that what is one of the less and safe way of getting money? Okay, so in entrepreneurship, risk taking is our language. So please don't think about things that are less risky, because if you think about things that are less risky, I advise you to find employment because, like, you just take risks, because big risks, big returns. So you just have to take big risks, invest, you lose money. Like, the time I lose money completely, like I go back to zero. And then everyone is like, what is wrong with you? I'm like, okay, it happened. And I've come back, but I'm not coming back the same, because I've failed, I've learned why I've failed. So now if I'm getting back stronger. Yeah. I think I've answered all your questions.
Thank you so much, Angela. I think we have gotten a lesson there. If you are not good for risks, just stay at home and keep safe. Look for
Please.
employee.
Respectfully.
Okay, thank you so much. I think we have picked quite a good number of lessons, and now we are out of time. We're just left with like 3 minutes to go. So it has been enjoyable, and please, our participants, I hope you've been taking notes and enjoying. Now, I want us to have a last word from our panelists, and please just use the comment section to share your thoughts or inputs, lessons, so that we can just wind up this event on a high note. So I want our panelists to just give one last word to our participants with regarding to, you know, entrepreneurs. It's all about risk taking. That's what we're learning. It's all about them really getting equipped and things like that, understanding the market, the product, and things like that. Now, let's just use this as a last thing, focusing on a customer. So how do we help our young people? You know, they always start off with their product, so much trusting into it, or just themselves, their ability to sell. But what about their customers? So how do we help our participants to well understand their customers, you know, and serve them properly or in the best way possible? Yeah. So in any way that you understand, or, you know, from practice or from nowhere, how do they, you know, understand well or serve them best, their customers? And that's just whatever way that you want to come up with that, very briefly. And that's going to be your last word, each one of you. I don't know who would like to start. Samson, Dr. Samson, are you ready? Or should I have
Yeah, if
Dr. Yes, yes.
start before me, I'd appreciate that.
Okay, Dr. Marin, would you like to go?
Yes, I would say when it comes to understanding the customer, always try to know the person who you are knowing, you are selling your products to. I would suggest to have knowledge about, you know, the population. How many people are you selling your products to? And maybe you can get that from the statistics office in your country, to know that if I'm selling, my possible market is 1 million or 100,000 people. And from that, know the characteristics, the demographics of your customers, know also their psychological behaviors and the things that they like. Because if you are selling to the elderly, if you are selling your services to the one that are middle age, and if you're selling to children, it's going to be different in terms of understanding them and their needs. You have to understand the needs of your customers, and how to reach them is another important thing. Because if you want to reach the over 60 years, you probably have to do most of the conventional ways like TV and radio, because they like listening to the radio. You know, but if you're coming to the youth, you will not find anyone on TV or radio. They're going to be on social media, to your Twitter, your Instagram, your Snapchat, you know, YouTube. And if you're going to the little ones, you probably find them where they are, you know, experiencing their cartoons. So just try to understand your customer in the way that you brand yourself, that you position yourself in their minds. Positioning is also one important thing. If you are talking about a supermarket, you should be the first to come into mind. If you're talking about clothing, you should be the brand that comes into mind. So understanding your customer is very important. And I would also always want to take you to the African perspective, and understand how the dynamics and the markets in Africa have changed. The preferences in Africa have changed, both in so many products. Taste in terms of food, we've become healthier. We understand organic foods. And taste in terms of beauty products, the natural has taken that space. And tasting also the kind of services that we want to receive. So I would suggest that try to know your customer as much as possible, and in any way that you can. Thank you very much.
Wow,
Thank you so much, Dr. Marin.
Thank you,
Yes,
Dr.
yes,
Marin,
Sam.
for that. Really, really insightful. So just to add a little bit about this knowing your customer. and maybe I'm trying to quote Jeff Bezos of Amazon here, and he says something along the lines of, for you to be successful as a business, you must be committed to understand your customer. Uh, so, the entire Amazon process is centered around the customer and how they can improve the customer experience. So I think something that you want to do maybe very early on is what we call a customer experience design. And this is maybe where you'd want to get feedback from people. If it's a product, if your product is something that customers can test, or can be tested by the customer, just give them access to that so that they kind of give you the experience, like how are they interacting with it? Is it easy to use it? Is it hard? Etc. So something that can help everybody to get to a level where you're really, really sure about the experience that they're going to have. And because customers' needs are also changing from time to time, based also on the technology that is already evolving, you must be able to adapt your customer process as time goes by. So I think maybe a business that was running in the January of last year had to adapt in the way they're interacting with their customers once COVID came, and it is those small things that would make sure that your business becomes sustainable and able to survive any hiccup that might happen along the way. So yeah, I think you just have to be customer centric in your process. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Samson. Okay, Angel, how do you engage your customers? How do you understand them?
Okay, so Felicia, I think Samson and Marion have said it all. Maybe to comment on that, I would just say that you should be ready to receive negative reviews, because negative reviews really help you to, like, correct the mistakes so that you can serve the customers well. And also customer care, like taking care of the customers, like don't be harsh. And the customers is always right. So yeah, that is all I can say, because they've said the rest. But then, because this is the last time we speak, I would like to leave this to the participants, that so business is not all roses. It's actually tough than being employed. So you really need patience and resilience, and ability to get up when you fail. So that is really, really important, because you will fail like so many times that you sit down, cry, and question yourself, why did I get myself into this, this thing? Like, why don't I just go and find employment? But no, like the future is bright. So like, just look forward, and then don't forget to start small and grow. And yeah, keep focusing on the bigger picture, because even the role models that you see, the Dangotes, I don't know, they all did not rise up in one day. It took time. So you have to take time. And also, I would really like, this is very important for any business person, entrepreneur, you really need to be confident. Like, I would give you an example of myself. There was a time that we were supposed to go to a deal. We got a deal that I was supposed to consult for a company. I had absolutely zero idea what I'm going to do. I didn't know how to do that work, but then I just got up. I went to meet the client. I just did some reading, and then, I was like, oh my God, let him not ask me a question that I don't know. But then I just went there, I showed up, and then I got the deal. Like, sometimes you wake up in the morning, you have no idea what you're going to do, but then just things will work out. So don't give up, and, keep your head high. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Angel. And we have reached the end of our session, but as I put on the chat, we're talking about customers, we're talking about beneficiaries. So you have been patient to sit down in this session and just follow through at the background. Some of you have put your videos off, but you have been very keen and listening. Let's hear from you guys. Just in 30 seconds, what have you learned from today's sessions? Any that you're able to join in, just in 30 seconds, lessons or anything, whatever that you would like, for us to hear from you. Please quickly, if we can just, anyone who is ready, would like to hear from as many of you as possible. So just unmute your mic and just come forward and speak. If you can put your video on, or you just want to, air your voice, that'll be appreciated, but just be very brief. And whoever that wants to leave, because it's time, you're also free to do so. But let's hear from you guys, whoever that wants to speak out. I would love to mention names, but let me first wait. Anyone?
Hello.
Hi, Nendo.
Yes. Thank you so much for arranging these sessions. I have learned a lot, and I'm very grateful for all the panelists, especially on entrepreneurship. I am doing business right now, and I had a lot of questions on customer care, on financial literacy, and even how to develop my business. Like, from the presentation by Samson has really been helpful to me on the simplicity issue and to do something that is unexpected. So I have really learned a lot. I'm very grateful. Thank you.
Thank you, Nendo. That was really great. Who else would like to come next quickly? I wish to call out names, but I don't want to. Please just come forward. I would like to hear anyone next.
Hello.
Hi, Ali.
Hi. I want to say thank you for the panelists and presenters of all lessons we learned about the entrepreneurship. Also a reader, because I'm a leader. Yes. Also I'm an entrepreneur. So I learned a lot from them. How I'm going to improve my business, how I'm going to take care about my customer, all of about that. But the key things are, the most entrepreneurship we fail to do is to work on feedback of our customer. We receive a lot of feedback, but we didn't working on it. That's caused us to fail from the business. So from now on, I'm going to work on the feedback from the customer so I can improve my business. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ali. That was really insightful and wonderful. Thank you for sharing. Anyone else?
Yeah, hello.
Hello.
Yeah, yeah. I joined from the entrepreneurship part, but it was really insightful. From all the way from school, I wanted to be a job creator, but I found myself into employment. And I've been having this sort of ideas, very many ideas, but not knowing where to start. And this section has given me a direction. Now I know how to sort out ideas, which can maybe turn into business. So it's been quite an opener. I have where to start right now. Thank you so much.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. Thank you so much, Saharu. Who would like to come in next? That's great to hear great feedback from you all.
Hello.
Hello, Kristen.
Hi. Thank you. I'd like to thank all panelists and the organizer of this session. It was more important for me because, especially for one who talking about the leadership. I get many things about leadership because I'm a leader of the school. I get new skills, new way of doing. Also on business. I research something. I get more ideas about how can I create business and the fail before starting. But now I get the way I can start business and fail and start again until I reach what I want. and until I achieve my objective. So thank you for this session.
Thank you so much, Kristen. Thank you for sharing. Alimami Bangura, please.
Yeah, hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, it was a great one. I really enjoyed it. More especially the leadership thing, because I'm so passionate about leadership, and we've been in this for so long, and I think I got a lot of experience and how to tackle issues. And I feel like even if you're doing both like leadership and entrepreneurship, you need to have priorities. Yeah. So like you just need to have your priorities focused and try to see what exactly you can achieve of what you are doing. So I feel like this is a great one because though I didn't attend the first session, but this second session I think I gain a lot and it's so insightful. Yeah, so thank you all for the our facilitators and panelists. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Alimami. That was great feedback. Who else would like to come on board quickly? Anyone? We have a few seconds to go. Anyone who would like to come? So silent. Anyone? Miss Ursula, I'm seeing Miss Ursula, you joined us today. Would you like to say something? I think you have been attending a few sessions today.
Hi, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Yes, I've been listening in, and I must say it's been quite an informative one. It's been very enlightening for me. I'm in private business, but I think it must have been very useful for the young people. One thing I know they would have gotten is courage. Courage to make business decisions, leadership decisions, and courage not to be afraid to fail, because they've heard from those who have walked this road that failure is part of the path and it is not final, like we always say. So it's been a good one for me. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, I don't know if there are other people who would like to share. Kevin's, now I just have to call out names quickly. Kevin's, if you're ready, just a few seconds. Hi, Kevin's. Someone gave a shout out to you at the beginning, Samson. So please make it very brief.
No, Samson is a good guy. He calls me. So thank you, Samson, for the shout out. First of all, I'd like to also commend you and team Falacia and Mimi Nani. Great effort. May the rewards be sufficient upon you, and also to the participants present on the call. I'd like to encourage you to keep on tapping more into knowledge, because that's the only way you keep on growing. For me, as always, it's a pleasure being present. It's a pleasure observing from this other side of the world. I wish you, Mimi Nani, all the greatest success that you endeavor on. May you keep on unleashing the stars of Africa. So we'll catch up with you, Fale. Have a great evening on your end, and good evening to all persons on call. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Kevins. All right, let me hear from, there's a person here, Jeremy Sandy, and then Everald, and then Brenda. If you're here and you can just quickly unmute, whoever that is ready, Jeremy, Everald, and Brenda. I think those are the ones that have not spoken. Anyone, any of you who is ready?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. First of all, I want to thank you for this great opportunity. Since the first day I saw this online, I was really excited to go through it, and I followed the first session, which was really great, and I enjoy all the parts, all the intervenant, the panelists. the what they share was really helpful, and I thank you for that. Even this one, even this second day was really helpful. Especially, I was focused really on the entrepreneurship part, which was really also great. So I think all those insights are helpful for us, and I think it will help each of us to grow. Yeah, that is a great thing. So I want to thank you, the organizer, for making this a reality for us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jeremy. I don't know if it's Jeremy or Jeremy. You'll just forgive me on that if I'm pronouncing it wrong. Brenda?
That's it, Jeremy.
Oh, it's Jeremy. Okay. Brenda or Everald, whoever that is, ready?
Hi.
Hello.
All the sessions were very insightful, especially the entrepreneurship one. I really liked all of them, and thank you.
Thank you, Brenda. Thank you so much. Everald, if you're okay to speak. Okay. Okay, I'm not sure if you're there and able to speak, but it was good to hear from you all. I hope everybody has at least voiced, that's the privilege of staying last and for the patience, you know, to just wait. But we would really love to hear from you, and I'm just glad that you've been patient enough to wait and share your voice, because basically this was just designed especially for you, and we believe someone has been, you know, assisted in one way or another to just, you know, being powered up and just move a step closer to whatever that they want to become or intend to be. So Mimi ni Nani is a platform that is there for you. You know, encourage you to just connect and seek more from it, follow through the programs. And I just want to say thanks, great thanks to Mimi Nani team that has been organizing this, facilitating and hosting everything. And I would also like Baraka, I think you can hear me, Tatu, and also our amazing facilitators and panelists who have been wonderful, just sharing their best experiences, knowledge, and presentations, all, you know, their time, their efforts, all for free, just for you guys. So that's been awesome. We are humbled and honored to have you do this with Mimi ni Nani. So thank you so much, all of you. And most of all, the participants who really showed up. We had over 300 people who registered, signed up for this. And imagine, you know, if you made it to commit all the way to this, I mean, you know, just consider yourself to be outstanding. And that's all that life is. If you've been learning from self-awareness, all the topics, you just see that, you know, not everyone is willing to put in the work or to persevere. And so if you have been one of those people throughout all this journey, just consider yourself, you know, already outstanding, already, you know, different, exceptional. And so I wish you all the best. And this is just the beginning. So please, we'll be sharing some evaluation forms. Give us your feedback, how best you want this to be experienced and things like that. So let's just give a round of applause to ourselves, the virtual round of applause to ourselves, the team, our dear panelists. Some of them have left, but those who are still here, I don't know if Samson is here, Angel, Dr. Marin, everyone, just thank you so much all, and have a great weekend, and let's interact. We have the WhatsApp group, you know, our profiles, LinkedIn, Instagram. Tell other people about what we are doing and what other programs you would like to see more of, what kind of mentorship programs that you would want to be a part of, and all those things, and we'll be happy to hear from you. Otherwise, it's been great. Have a blessed evening, and thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you and bye.
Bye, thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.